Welcome to the School of Ministry podcast. I'm so excited to have Andrew Bauer with me here today. He is one of our original class members of the School of Ministry. Welcome.
Thank you. Awesome to be here.
Yeah, well, what would you like? Give us a base level understanding of Andrew. So for people who don't know you.
Man, that's hard. New dad, so that's been crazy going through that while being at the school. So that happened. I mean, I was probably a year in. Even when I first started this, I had just gotten married. So much has gone on. So when I started the school of ministry the first year, I was 3 months married, I think it was. So that was already a super big step. I had no idea what was going to happen, because it's like now it's like head of household, but also like, let me take this chunk of time out. So yeah, new husband. And then 6 months in, we got pregnant, Jen got pregnant. And so it was the very beginning of the second year of school of ministry. We had our son. So then it's just, new baby, still going to the school, which has been great. Like, just a great foundation for being a new dad is all the stuff I've learned in the school. I mean, I just feel like I'm getting downloaded with so much information. And so that has been awesome. But then, just trying to do all the new family stuff. It's like now, first Easter, it's like this, our own family is now at this thing. So, before you go to your parents' house, or you go to like your grandma's house, and now it's like, oh, we are our own family unit now. Now we can be in our house. We don't have to go somewhere else.
Isn't that fun though?
Yeah. So it's just so much that, now I'm the head of the household. I have such a better foundation as I'm finishing up these 2 years. So it's just been great for that.
So what kind of foundation do you feel like it's helped lay for this new season of life?
Just a stronger foundation of understanding the word. I already knew I could dive into the word whenever I want, but now we've gone through so many classes where I can dive into it and just pull even more out of it. We had a prayer class with Tanya Morgan, and at first when I was doing it, I was like, well, I don't want to get up in front of the class and pray. It's like, that sounds so intimidating, but it was just so great after getting through that. And it's like, it just opened up ways to pray, interceding prayer for others. And so now it's like, still don't love getting up and praying in front of people, but then it would have been so terrifying. And now it's just like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm not gonna be the first one to raise my hand probably, but yeah, not a big deal if like I have to pray in front of the classroom, and just so many other things too, like that. The classes just open up so much.
I love that. So when we started the program, it was 2 years.
Yes.
Right? And now it is a 9-month intensive for those who will be starting from here on out. But I will say you have been one of our most consistent students, like day in, day out, like even through all the changes and all the things that's happened, like you have always been there. What has that taken for you in your schedule of being a new husband and a new dad? Like, what has that taken for you?
Just wanting to be committed, not wanting to not show up, because I did commit to it, and I felt like a strong calling for it. Because at first I was like, no, that can't be what I'm supposed to do, but I felt a strong calling for it, and I really wanted to do it. And we just had a class with Kate Gibson over worship, and she had said, it was a quote from Jason Law the other day, and it was, where there's no sacrifice, there's no worship. So in making the sacrifice of making sure I'm there every day and doing this class, it's worshiping God, and that's just so great. It's just answering his call just promotes the promise in our life. And I've just seen that throughout the 2 years.
So one of my favorite things is I know you and your brother-in-law started doing this together. What was it like to have somebody in the class with you doing it alongside you?
That was super cool. It's just knowing someone that's there. I mean, I know a lot of the other people that are there, so that's great also. I have other friends that are there. But then just going with someone that you see a lot of times, it's like, you kind of know your own schedule. It also helps out when you might forget something that's happening. You can just shoot a quick text instead of having to check a schedule or something. So that's been nice. But it's just great doing it with other people. And then someone that, you're close to is even that much better. So it's like, if you're doing this and you have a friend that you want to bring with you, try to talk them into it. See if it's like, something that they think would be a good idea.
Absolutely. If you're going to spend 9 months, 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, you might as well have people doing it alongside of you to be able to share in all of the things that you're learning.
Yes.
And what has that output looked like for you? So you're putting all of this stuff in. How has that kind of gotten into your everyday life?
Just knowing the word better. It's easier now. There's been times where if it's someone, a friend, or a neighbor, someone that it's that much easier to conversate with them and break down the word in kind of instead of just like, hey, do you want to go to church with me? Or it's just a more natural just the word flows out of you more naturally. So it's just easier to, even see things in people. Like we've learned a lot of classes over the giftings and other things that are in the word. And it's just easier to break that down when talking to other people, easier to just have a simple conversation. And instead of just a real quick, hey, do you want to come to church? It's like, you're like, hey, do you need any prayer? I can pray for you. And then that opens up a whole new avenue in talking to other people.
And you have the confidence now to pray
and
for
the
them.
confidence, yes.
Do you feel like it has bled into your marriage as well?
Yes, definitely. I feel like a better head of the household, and I can lead better, which, with my wife, with my son. It's just, I can now break down the word where before, I grew up in church, but it was never something I fully dove into. And I just had a calling from the Lord, and I just had a hunger to dive into the word. And that was right before school started. And I was already just hungry for it, wanting to learn more. And, the church used to have Second Mile, and I didn't do that. And then once the school ministry started, I just felt a tug. And it has just opened up so much of the word. And now I can just speak that into my family and just be a better leader and actually applying the word to my life and just knowing it better.
Well, one of the things is I see that you are applying in a lot of different areas. So you just got back from missions.
Yes.
That is one of the things that we really pushed. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, I would have never thought I would be going on a missions trip. Even when we had Robert Berenger talk about missions,
yes,
he was talking about how missions are right there in your home, in your life. I was like, great, that's where I'll do it, here at home.
Here.
Like, I'm not going anywhere. And then a year later, because I was in the first year, so then a year later, they had the Cuba trip, and I was like, well, that sounds cool. And I just felt a call to do that. And it was going to be construction-based, so I was like, perfect, I can put my hand to something.
And that's a skill set you already had?
Yes, I've worked in construction,
okay.
So I know some, not exactly what we were doing, but a well-rounded knowledge, so I could definitely help. And so that was great, to be able to put our hand to something, see the people there. And some of the times it was like, I didn't understand if we were really helping as much as we could be in certain areas, but then talking to the people there, them seeing us come to serve and take time out of our life here and come there, they said that was even good for them to see, because then they get to remember Jesus serving others. And it's one story that came to mind for me was when Jesus washed the disciples' feet. It's like they could wash their own feet. They'd get it all done quicker if they were all washing their own feet. But he took the time to serve them, because that's the real call. And so we got to go serve them. And it's like, sure, if we would have just sent them a ton of money, they could have hired people there. There's not people flying there, but we get to take the time out of our life to serve them. And that's where the real call is in serving others.
That's amazing. Now, you did talk about overseas, but you are actually putting your hands to something that you got to help start here at the church. Can you talk about Guts Garage for just a little bit?
Yes, so that's great. That's something that I had kind of thought about before.
Explain what it is first.
Okay, yeah, so Guts Garage, it's going to be it's already started, but an oil change service, essentially. We might eventually do some other small things, but an oil change service for single moms, people in need here at the church. And that could grow, but right now we're just kind of starting just in-house with the people here. And so, yeah, oil change service, we'll have a couple teams of guys that will do it first service, second service, and just a way to just be a blessing to people in our church. And yeah, so in school ministry, it was just they had asked us if any of us had ideas for ways just for outreach within the church, within the community. And it was an idea I had. I really didn't want to say it. And then my brother-in-law was actually like, no, you should actually say that. That's a good idea. I was like, but went ahead and said it. And yeah, they seemed to like it. So we went with it, and we've gotten all the stuff, tools, an area to do it. So now it's like when you're in church, you see that jot form show up on the screen, and that's something you're in need of. You can scan it, you can fill out your information, and pick a slot to bring your car in for quick oil change and maybe a vacuum. Get it cleaned out, and maybe a wash. I don't know. That was talked about. Not sure if that's going to happen, but yeah, just a way to be a blessing to the people in the house.
Well, I love that, because it came out of the heart of somebody in the school that the pastoral team said, well, that's a no-brainer. Like, we can do that. We have the ability to do that, to love on our people here. It's during a service. We make it easy, and I think it's just going to grow. But I love that. One, you stepped out and spoke those ideas, because like you said, it's easy to keep that inside. And then we got to run with it. And that's a part of the school, is taking and putting our hands to things and having ideas and doing ministry and outreach, whether inside the walls of the church or going globally or going out into our own town. And the heart is just to continue to do that. So
Yeah, it's been great.
yeah. Do you have anything else on your mind that you want to put your hands to?
Man, nothing other than just speaking to people. It's like if they feel the call to do the school, it is so beneficial. And now you can't say that 2 years seems long. It's a quick 9 month, it'll be over before you know it. And you can just get downloaded with so much material, so much of the word, and just the instructors are amazing. So many of the elders at the church that are just absolutely just, men and women of the Lord, and just break down the word so well. And just really, it's just an amazing download. And now it's 9 months. So, it'll fly by.
Yeah. So from the Andrew that started to the Andrew that finished, what was the biggest surprise takeaway that has probably been one of the biggest things that's come out for you?
The biggest surprise. Well, another thing, I remember Jason Law, he was in my interview to get into the school, the interview that goes before. And he had asked me what was one thing that I probably would not like to see happen. And for me, it was getting up and talking in front of people. And
it's common.
Of course, before you know it, they're like, we'd like you guys to do a 15-minute message and then break down some verses. We also had where the students would teach a book of the Bible, and then that turned into a couple as time went on.
Yeah.
And so that has been a big thing about growth for me. There's talking in front of people, because that first time giving that first message, and the first one I think was 5 minutes, and I was sitting in the seat, my heart was pounding, and I knew I was going fifth. So as the people are going, my heart's just going even faster. And by the time it was my turn, I just felt like I was going to pump out of my chest. And then I got up there, and immediately it's, I was praying before I got up there, and I said the first sentence, and I just, the Holy Spirit just calmed me down, and I got through it. And every single time it's gotten easier and easier. And so that has been a big thing about growth for me, is just speaking in front of people. And we'd also talked in a class, it's pride can be where you're worried about what other people are thinking. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big thing. It's am I going to look good enough? Am I going to be able to speak well enough? And it doesn't matter if the Lord's put something on your heart, you just need to speak it. Yeah. And if it's for someone else, they'll hear it, and the Holy Spirit will work through that.
That's amazing. And I think so many people need to hear that. They need to hear that is a normal thing for people to be, I don't want to say nervous, but you to have that level of I think there's a reliance it gives you on the Holy Spirit as well, to know that we can prepare all we want, but he's going to say what he wants and open the hearts of the people. Yeah. Have you had the opportunity? Did you preach in Friday Groceries as well?
No, I did not.
Not yet?
So
we'll have to make sure we can try to set that up. That is an amazing opportunity for outreach that we have as well. And I love hearing that people are getting more confident in speaking, whether it's a group of 20 or 30 in a classroom, or 100 at an event, or whether it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because that's really having that ready word in season.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Have you feel like God has given you more confidence in that and giving you the opportunities to do that?
Yes, definitely. That would have been something that I would have shied away from very quickly. But now, after being in the school, it's there's so much more that's just on your mind, on your tongue, ready to go. And you can break it down easier and say it to a way where people can grasp it easier.
Yeah, so, I love that. Yeah. The confidence in equipping.
Exactly. Yes.
That is the point of the School of Minsitry.
Yes.
No matter what you do, that you are confident and equipped and have that biblical foundation.
Yes. Making disciples to make disciples.
That's exactly it.
Yep.
So what would you say, and you said a little bit earlier, but what would you say to somebody considering the school of ministry?
Okay, so if the Lord's calling you to it and you feel a tug, I would answer that, because it's going to be sacrifice, but in that sacrifice you're worshiping the Lord, and it's going to be blessed. It's going to turn your life around. It's going to be an abundant overflow that comes into your life. I can't even, the 2 years, I've gone through storms and just sacrificing time, but coming out on this end of the 2 years, there's been so much provision, so much blessing, and it has just been absolutely amazing. And that only comes with answering his call, and then his promises will just overflow in your life.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. And yeah, excited to have you as an alumni of the Guts X School of Ministry first graduating class.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.